Most games waste your time. These 10 don't even try to. Short enough to finish in a weekend. Memorable enough to ruin you for years. Small games. Permanent damage. Let's go!
Welcome to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center.
Portal is probably the most elegant game ever made. You get a gun that shoots 2 holes in space. That's the entire premise. And from that single mechanic, Valve builds 19 increasingly mind-bending puzzles, and somehow tells a genuinely unsettling story at the same time. The community's take on it is almost unanimous. It respects your intelligence. Every solution feels like something you figured out yourself, even though the game quietly guided you there the whole time. That's masterclass design. GLaDOS, the AI running the facility, has become one of gaming's most iconic characters. She's sinister, funny, and weirdly believable. And she does it all in about 3 hours of screen time.
Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart.
Players consistently say Portal is the game they recommend to people who say they don't really play games. It's that accessible. It's that good.
What's your point anyway?
If you haven't played Outer Wilds, skip this segment. Come back after. Seriously, the less you know going in, the harder it hits. For everyone else, Outer Wilds is a solar system frozen in a 22-minute time loop. You're an astronaut. You have a ship. You have a notepad. You have no objective markers, no waypoints, no hand-holding whatsoever. What you have is curiosity, and the game weaponizes it completely. Players describe it as one of the most unique and important games I've ever played in my life. It makes you ask big questions. It makes you feel things you didn't expect to feel about fictional planets and fictional dead civilizations. The ending has a reputation. People talk about it in hushed tones. You'll know why when you get there. This is the game on this list that will genuinely change how you think about exploration in games. Every single person who has played the Titanfall 2 campaign says the same thing. Why did nobody play this? The answer is a terrible release window. EA dropped it directly between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare in October 2016, and it got absolutely buried, and which is a crime, because the campaign is one of the best ever made in a first-person shooter. It's 6 hours of pure, unhinged creativity. Every level is built around a different mechanic. Wall running, that feels like a superpower. A time manipulation level that still gets mentioned as one of the greatest single levels in any game, ever. The community consistently calls it a masterclass in how to design an FPS campaign. The bond between the player and their Titan, a giant mech, is built in maybe 20 minutes of total screen time, and it somehow genuinely lands emotionally. 6 hours. One of the best shooters ever made, still criminally underplayed. Inside doesn't talk to you. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't give you a story. It just drops you into a world, cold, gray, deeply wrong, and makes you run. Playdead's follow-up to Limbo is pure atmosphere distilled into a 3-hour side-scroller. There's no dialogue, no text, just dread that builds slowly, and then, in the final act, completely detonates. Players online are split between, I need to discuss this with someone immediately, and I haven't figured out what I just experienced. Both reactions are correct. The game ends in a way that people have been debating for nearly a decade. Theories, Reddit threads, video essays, all for a game you can finish in one sitting. If horror and ambiguity are your thing, this one leaves marks. Let's see if you can guess this game. You're an insurance investigator in year 1807. A ghost ship has returned to port with no crew. You have a magic watch that lets you witness the moment of anyone's death. Your job is to figure out what happened to all 60 people on board. That's it. No hints, no hint system, no confirmation until you commit to a full answer. You work it out with logic, observation, and a notebook. And when you crack a cluster of fates and the game stamps them fate determined in bold letters, the feeling is absolutely unmatched. The community calls it a pure mystery experience, one that trusts players to think. The monochrome art style, styled after early Macintosh graphics, is striking and instantly recognizable. Lucas Pope made this alone, one person. It won numerous game awards, and if you like mysteries, puzzles, or just feeling impossibly smart for 8 hours, Obra Dinn is essential. Edith Finch is under 3 hours long. It's been described by players as a beautiful and haunting exploration of life, death, and family tragedy. And that description is completely accurate and still undersells it. You walk through a sprawling family home and discover the story of each family member who died there. Every death is its own short, interactive story, told in a completely different style. One is a comic strip, one is a bathtub, one involves a cannery job that is so simple and so crushing, it's become one of the most talked about moments in modern gaming. Players consistently say they didn't expect to cry, but they do. The genius is in the format. The developer deliberately kept each story self-contained, so no single death could overstay its welcome. The result is a game that hits like a short story collection. No padding, all impact. This is the game on this list you'll think about at random moments for years. Journey is just 2 hours long and has no words. You're a robed figure in a desert. There's a mountain on the horizon. You walk toward it. That description sounds boring, but it's completely opposite case. The multiplayer mechanic is the secret weapon. You can encounter other real players, but you cannot communicate with them except through a single chime. No chat, no voice, just two strangers walking toward the same mountain. Players consistently say the strangers they met in Journey are more memorable to them than characters in games they spent hundreds of hours with. The community calls it a masterpiece of minimal emotional design. It won multiple awards, not in spite of its simplicity, but because of it. 2 hours. You'll want to do it again immediately. Do not look up what Inscryption is before you play it. What it appears to be, a creepy card game with a mysterious figure across the table, watching you. What it actually is, something else entirely. Something that breaks the fourth wall in ways that still feel genuinely surprising, even after being discussed extensively online. The community reaction to Inscryption's later acts is basically split between, this is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, and I preferred the first section. But everyone agrees. You will not see what's coming. The card game itself is legitimately great. Deep deck-building mechanics that would hold up as a standalone game. The horror atmosphere is unsettling without being cheap. And then, the game just does what it does. If you want to be genuinely surprised by a game, this will probably be your best shot. Firewatch is my personal favorite walking simulator. That label may sound too generic, but in this case, it's a compliment. You're a fire lookout in woods of Wyoming. You have a radio. On the other end is Delilah, your supervisor, who you never meet in person. Over 4 hours, you explore the wilderness, respond to strange occurrences, and just talk. The dialogue system is brilliant. You choose what Henry says to Delilah, and the relationship builds or shifts accordingly.
You're in it, aren't you?
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa, whoa! Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it.
Players describe the central dynamic as some of the best character writing in gaming. The mystery plot works. The ending divides people. Some find it honest, some find it unsatisfying. But the adventure is almost universally praised. This is the game that proved a conversation, and a beautiful forest could be a complete experience. You are a cat, lost in a cyberpunk underground city. You need to find your way home. That's enough. That's the whole pitch, and it's enough. Stray went viral on announcement because the concept is immediately legible and appealing, but the game delivers beyond the gimmick. The world building is rich, the atmosphere is melancholic and beautiful, and the feline physics, knocking things off shelves, meowing on command, sleeping in strange places, are accurate enough that actual cat owners lost their minds. Many players say that they just started playing because it looked cute, but finished it feeling things they didn't expect. It's around 6 hours and functions as a complete, emotionally satisfying little story. It became one of the most played games on PlayStation when it launched, and for good reason. And that's our list. None of these games are designed to take 100 hours of your life. They're designed for just few hours, but will leave you thinking about them for years. The small games which did permanent damage. Thanks for watching.